thank you everyone for joining me today. I believe introductions are the order. So my name is Dr. Hal Graff, and the first book that I wrote was titled Love and Death at the Encierro, and we'll be visiting about that today. And I've lived an interesting life. I've been a pro baseball player, a sales executive for many years, a business owner, a farm owner. I have not been a butcher, baker, or candlestick maker yet, but I may get there. But best of all, I'm an author now. And I have a son and daughter, 4 grandsons, and I'm also a Christian. Well, I grew up in a family where my father and my mother and my grandfather were all great storytellers. And that was the initial motivation for me to be a storyteller. And all through school, even through my doctoral level, everybody said, Hal, you have to be a writer. So I think I finally made it. I went to the running of the Bulls Festival in Pamplona, Spain in 2015, and I've been writing ever since. And I now have 117 published novels. Well, I enjoy the writing process, and the motivation comes from my love of doing it, and also from my God-given talent from God. And I write for the reader and also for His glory and His kingdom. Yes, I enjoy writing in 3 genres: political, espionage thrillers, mystery thrillers, and Christian fiction inspirational stories. And they're all a little bit different, but each of the different type of genres gives me different little enjoyments. And I enjoy all 3 of them because I can vacillate back and forth and get a little variety. Well, in my stories, I'm squiring and helping the reader go through the journey of the story. And I want them to experience all the highs and lows and the love and danger and surprises that always occur. And when it's all done, I want them to have enjoyed reading the story, and I want them to be enthused and want to buy more and more of my novels. Well, before I even write, I have everything under the wraps as far as what the story is going to be about, and the characters and the plots and subplots. And from there, I get up every day at 5:30 or so, and I write 1 chapter of approximately 2,500 words. And then I do a bullet point outline of the next day's chapter, and then I'm done. So that gives me time to live the rest of my life. Oh, most definitely. And writing has always become so easy for me. And I don't miss many days. Once I get started writing, I write every single day unless something like a dental appointment or something else comes up. So that process has worked fantastic for me. And as I mentioned before, I've never had writer's block or anything like that. So I can churn out great books one after another. Well, the writing process has not been a challenge at all. As I said, it's always easy and inspirational for me. And I'm like all authors. We all want to be able to sell our book rights to the publishing companies so we can bring our great work to the readers. Oh yes, I'm never going to stop. My last 2 days of my life, I believe I'm going to type the words "the end." And I always have a to-do list of 12 to 15 novels. And I'm writing currently, I have 15 chapters left in a political espionage thriller. It's the last 3rd book of a trilogy. The first book of the trilogy is Corruption Rules in LA. And that scenario has followed all through the 3 books. And I've yet to name the 3rd book, but I'm going to do that as a Christmas present to myself and to my readers. So that'll happen soon. Well, one of my favorites, and the most favorite, is titled Assassination in 𝗘𝗃𝗃𝗵. And here it is. And this was the first book of a trilogy, and it's set in 𝗄𝗯, Idaho. And 7 Russian hitmen land on the mountain to go down to 𝗄𝗯 and kill the president. And the man who can stop them is a hunting and fishing outfitter. And the story is about how he does that and how he saves the president's life. And then the Russians come back 2 more times. And that's the rest of the trilogy. One of my favorite mystery thriller novels is titled Murder in Georgia, and it's right over here. This thrilling novel is set in the Civil War and then in the reconstruction of the South in the years that followed the Civil War. And this is a dynamite mystery. There's it's a little bit of historical fiction. I place the main character in important episodes in the war, including the assassination of Lincoln. And then there was a serial killer running amok besides the war, so that's part of the story. Okay, one of my favorite Christian fiction novels is titled Bobby Ross and the White Stones. And I have that right behind me, so if it's okay, I'm going to grab it. Here it is. I've written 9 of these Christian fiction stories, and this one will bring tears to the reader's eyes, and they'll have smiles wide as they can possibly be. And this is a true inspirational story about a little kid who grew up to be a Hollywood actor and a stand-up comedian, and how he lost his faith and how he eventually gained salvation. I was fortunate to be blessed with great parents, and I have 1 brother. We're very close. And a fun fact about my dad and myself is we were both All-American baseball players at the same university, and we also played pro baseball. And in 1938, my dad was named the captain of the All-American team that went to play the British national team in the World Cup. So I wrote a story about that. I incorporated a serial killer and the start of World War II, and it was quite an amazing story, and it's one of my favorites. It's called Love and Death in London. And one of my cherished items from my dad's history is that I still have his original uniform when he was the captain of the All-American baseball team. And I also have his sweater, which is his captain's sweater, which is inspirational and helped me write a novel named Love and Death in London. Well, there's another interesting story. My daughter and son are both very sharp, humorous people, and this was a Christmas present from my daughter. And the mug itself says, "Be careful or you'll be in my next novel." And I suppose I should give you the movie answer. I will not tell you why that was done, Senator, because I am using the 5th Amendment to not incriminate myself.